Hello, all you happy, peppy people out there. It is Alpha Flight Monday in Dad's Den of Pop Culture. We've gotten up to Alpha Flight number 27, the penultimate issue for John Byrne, the creator of Alpha Flight. He will be going off to brighter horizons, different horizons, in the near future. And we're following up from the story that was in, the last issue, obviously, because that's how these things work, in which Alpha Flight fought Omega Flight in the West Edmonton Mall and lost. Well, at least the Alphans who were there lost. Not everybody from Alpha Flight was present. So let's see what happens next. And our cover shows Delphine Courtney disguised more or less as Guardian, holding Snowflake by the neck, saying to Shaman and Talisman, "The choice is yours, Shaman. If you save Snowbird, your daughter dies." That's not a great deal. All right, let's get in. Betrayal. John Byrne, story, art, Keith Williams. What does it say? Does that say inking artist? All right. It's actually just dim enough that I cannot see that. Let me see. Yeah, inking assist. Okay. See, I usually say inking artist. That's weird. Andy Yankus, coloring, Rick Parker, lettering, Dennis O'Neill, editor, Jim Shooter, editor-in-chief. We've won. Alpha Flight has been destroyed. And this is from October of 1985. Ooh, we're almost to 1986. Now that's not like a traditional splash page. You have multiple panels, but I like that. I like that panorama there. And it being in a mall is perfect. The two levels, the fountains in the background, the stores. So let's see what everybody's saying here. Heather, I guess this is her, for the moment, her costume. With the red and the white. It's pretty cool. I like it. Getting a bit ahead of yourself, aren't you, Delphine? I thought robots had computers for brains. Super accurate computers. Which is true, my dear Heather. Let's try that reading again. Which is true, my dear Heather, and perhaps you are correct. I let my delight carry me away. But if I exaggerate, it is only the slightest degree. By only the slightest degree. Alpha Flight is almost finished. Diamond Lil has taken care of Puck. Flashback has beaten your newest member, Talisman. And Wild Child was able to distract North Star long enough for me to deliver the coup de grace. Now, also clever. Basically, we get a roll call. We see their names. We get an idea of who is who. Always smart in these books. Remember, these books were always designed for, primarily kids to be able to pick them up off the rack at a grocery store, a 7-Eleven, stores like that, or a comic shop, and get into the story quickly. So there was always a certain amount of, here's what happened last issue, and here's who people are, and maybe a nod to their superpowers. Because obviously we're at issue 27 at this point, and it's not a time period where a kid could go out and easily find issue number 1 if they became interested in Alpha Flight. So they need to be able to pick up the pace or pick up the story very quickly. So continuing, that still leaves half the team available to bust up your little social club, just like we've done before. But at what cost, my dear? In that encounter, Omega Flight was successful in our primary task, the killing of James MacDonald Hudson, the man called Guardian, your husband, in issue number 12, which you can find on my channel. But that mission was only partly completed, since our own leader, Jerry Jackson, was also killed, and the rest of Omega were captured. But now I have freed all but one of our team, and with almost our full might restored, It will be easy enough to dispose of what remains of Alpha. Flashback, if you would bring your prisoner over here. What do you want with me? Why are you wearing Guardian's costume? And why can't I think straight? Well, that would probably be because she took a tremendous knock to the head. We'll get a little bit more light on this. Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm old. I need a little bit more light to be able to read these things. Okay, so without going heavy into the dialogue, Omega Flight has captured these members of Alpha Flight, and Delphine Courtney, the robot, needs something from Talisman. And specifically, he needs to bring the rest of Alpha Flight there. And one way to do that is by hurting Talisman, because she has this ability to psychically summon other members of Alpha Flight to her. And she is going to try to resist to the best she can, but that's not going to be easy. As you can see, he's putting her through some pain. I just have to point this out. When this came out, that meant nothing. That was clearly just fig spelled backwards. And now, whether you call it GIF or GIF, it has a meaning. I just happened to glance at it, and I'm like, GIF? What? Oh. How most mouths feel about Twizzlers, I'm not so sure about that. That is not how my mouth feels about Twizzlers. I'm a Red Vines man, and I will fight you. Okay, so meanwhile, last issue had started with the team doing some combat maneuvers with the Canadian military with these robots that they had devised for defending Canada. And Aurora had gotten injured. So Shaman is seeing to her injuries. Of course, remember, he is a sorcerer, but he is also a medical doctor. The Box robot, right now has Walter Lankowski's soul inside of it. So it is essentially Walter Lankowski. He comes to see how she's doing. They walk over and find Roger Box. Now, Roger Box created the Box robot. He can phase into it and control it. At the moment, though, he is not doing that because, like I said, it's being used to hold the soul of Walter Lankowski, who used to be Sasquatch. And so he's telling them, the little project we've been working on here, it's about to bear fruit. Really, Roger, you have found a body for Walter? I found something, Miss Bouvier. So what? Where did they find a new body? Well, what they're doing is they've devised this machine to look into a sort of another dimension. And what they're looking for is a body large enough to hold Walter Lankowski's soul, but a non-sentient one. And so they're trying to get this fixed. Now, Shaman is saying, by the Great Spirit, I'll certainly agree there, friend Box, you appear to have tapped into a dimensional nexus, a crossroads of reality. So this is this dimensional nexus. And this is what they found. And if these guys were all Marvel comic readers, in about 2 seconds they could figure out what the heck they've locked into. But apparently they can't. So that's great. Oh, it's a humanoid. I can meld into that thing. As that happens, Shaman suddenly has sort of this, Obi-Wan Kenobi moment. And they say, well, are you all right? I'm not sure. I just felt terrible pain. It's Elizabeth. Someone is torturing my daughter. We must go to her now. So Delphine Courtney's plan has worked. They have gotten the message, and off Alpha goes the Heavenly Kid. Now, meanwhile, Snowbird has left the team, and they all believe that she is gone completely from sort of the mortal realm. But she's been living with this guy who is in love with her. She's trying to find out what it means to be human. But she has gotten this message from Talisman as well. And so, he's like, well, you can't go back. They don't even know you're still on Earth. I know, but I cannot ignore this feeling. My friends have need of me. The time has come for Snowbird to fly once more. Okay, so just like Luke Skywalker when they were torturing Han Solo and Bespin. This thing's a total ripoff of Star Wars. Oh my God. The truth finally revealed. So here we have them all. Our team appears. Box, Aurora, Shaman. So they transport. But what is this place, and where is the rest of Alpha Flight? I cannot answer either question, Aurora, for I brought us here simply by homing in on Talisman's aura. This looks like a shopping center. Biggest in the world, Michael. Welcome to the West Edmonton Mall, my friends. Glad you could make it. Great advertising for the mall, by the way. Guardian, you're all right, but I sensed, where's the rest of Alpha? Where is my daughter? She's right over there, Michael, helping stand guard over our guests. As you can see, everything's fine, and what you can see is they're making it look from far away like Alpha is guarding Omega, when in fact it's really the other way around. And so they're kind of lured into the trap, and so Guardian mentions, well, we got all of them except Smart Alec. I wonder what happened to him. To which Shaman replies, oh, of course, you don't know. In our last encounter, Alec Thorne managed to steal my medicine pouch. Unfortunately for him, he also looked into it. As you know, my daughter is the only mortal who can survive that experience. Thus, Smart Alec was robbed of his mind, his soul. Not knowing what else to do with him, I reduced his mindless body to the size of a small doll and have him with me in my pouch, even now. What? Yeah, that is exactly what happened. To which Guardian replies, basically, that's inhuman. Perhaps Puck thought it was too kind of fate for a member of Omega Flight. One of the ones who killed you. Well, Puck, I'll finish with later. Right now, I'll just take that pouch. Guardian! So, Delphine Courtney, disguised as Guardian, grabs the pouch and flies away. Now, this is very dangerous. That pouch is sort of, has like another dimension inside of it. And it's from that dimension that Shaman can pull things for his mystical powers. So they need to capture him. And but they don't realize this isn't Guardian. They're kind of like, what are you doing, you know? And he says, well, this is no game. And I'm going to, what the? Shaman lied. There's nothing in here. Nothing at all. Unless if there's a secret pocket. Perhaps I can find it if I turn the blasted thing inside out. So he turns the pouch inside out, which essentially releases this other dimensional void into our reality. And it starts swallowing up Aurora, and Box is trying to get her out. And it's an interesting. I like the colors. I like the art. It's interesting. They were just in another world. That was black and white. So Byrne is coming up with some interesting ways to show other dimensions. Of course, Steve Ditko was a master at that. So Omega is kind of like going, oh, what the heck is this? This wasn't part of the plan. And they're like, leave them. The plan was to kill them all. Eventually, this will take care of that. Let's get out. So they're running. Shaman still doesn't know it's Guardian. Curse Guardian for a fool. If it is Guardian, he has unleashed the void, the universe that dwells beyond the mouth of my medicine pouch. Uncontrolled, it will grow and grow until all is consumed. I must act quickly if I am to contain it, but I cannot act alone. I must now risk the others to get Talisman clear. Talisman, Elizabeth, can you hear me? Oh, Father. So now, she can look in to the pouch. Doesn't go insane. Suggests she can control it somewhat. There is a good chance our friends are as yet unaffected, or I would not have risked this course of action. Puck, Northstar, and Heather appeared to be unconscious, and Box will be protected by the robotic nature of his mind. But I fear for Aurora, whose split personality puts her always on the razor's edge of sanity at the best of times. Okay, Dad, save it. You're preaching to the converted. Alpha Flight are my friends. They welcomed me into their ranks without question, but I'm still new at this game. If anything should go wrong, do not fear, Elizabeth. I will monitor your progress at all times. You will be safe. I promise. I promise. Then wish me luck, Father, because here I go. I remember this image in a Dragon magazine, and I think I've mentioned that article before. It was like doing stats for the Marvel superhero game, and I do specifically remember that. Or it was either that or somewhere. They used that image in one of the role-playing games supplements or something like that. And so she's kind of like, wow, nothing seems real, and yet I've got the awful feeling I'm the one who's not. I can see where being in here would be hard on the sanity. So she's sort of flying through this bizarre landscape, if you want to call it that. And she thinks she sees the missing heroes. And so here we go. She finds Aurora. Uh-oh. Spoke too soon. Aurora's in trouble. Oh, what's that? On video cassette, Transformers. So Shaman is also trying to hold things back to the degree that he can. I must make certain it is a controlled collapse. She will need time to locate Alpha Flight and extricate herself. I am so proud of her. In my life, there has been little to bring me such joy. My medical failure cost me Elizabeth's mother, and because I had foolishly promised I could save my beloved Catherine, that failure nearly cost me Elizabeth as well. Plot point, plot point, plot point. Before the adventure that created her as talisman, we had not spoken in 13 years. Now, wait, is it? Yes, Alpha Flight. So they're emerging from this void as he collapses it. They appear to be unharmed, but unconscious. Talisman has done her job well. Save the pat on the back for later, Dad. Get me out of here. Elizabeth, good. You have reached the outer perimeter. Give me your hand, daughter. The void will continue to collapse on its own now. Hurry, Father. I can't. Zoop. So something hits just as he's grabbing her hand. And it's Guardian. And he's got Snowbird by the neck, like we saw on the cover. There we go. Why so surprised, Shaman? It was easy enough for me to get close to Snowbird when I spotted her approaching. After all, she had no way of knowing I'm not who I appear to be. Michael, what's happening? Curse him. In her human form, Snowbird is as mortal as any of us. I must help her. Father, wait, get me out first. Please, please. This will take but a moment, Elizabeth. Be brave. I shall not fail you. But I must reach into the shrinking void as I would into my medicine bag and conjure forth a solution to this problem. And so he conjures forth this stuff that, hits Delphine Courtney in the face, forcing her to, or maybe I should say it, it's a robot after all, to release Snowbird. But as he does so, the void starts collapsing even faster, and you see Elizabeth's hand reaching out. Elizabeth, fight against the mystic forces. You can do it. You have the power. I can't, Father. No, help me. And so she suddenly is now trapped in the pouch. And you wonder why he can't do one of those Bullwinkle things, nothing up my sleeve and just pull her out, but apparently he can't. No, oh, no, Michael. She is gone. Nothing can be drawn from the bag that is bigger than the mouth. I have failed her, failed in my promise to her, as I failed to save her mother, as I have failed so many, many times. Then the talisman has been consumed by the void. Next issue, 2 tales with a single title, as a bold new chapter in the history of Alpha Flight begins to unfold. You must not miss Crossover in 30 days. And we do get, in the letters column, Alpha Waves, memo. Okay, time for the big announcement. Drum roll, hold your breath. John Byrne is leaving Alpha Flight. Yes, Alpha Flight number 28. That's next issue, people. Will be John's last. Will that make it a genuine collector's item or what? Naturally, since this is Marvel, you might expect something special to make such a momentous occasion. Would a guest appearance by the Hulk do? Well, we're delivering that, but only as a beginning. To be exact, the beginning of John Byrne's taking over the chronicling of everybody's favorite green-hued monster. Yes, as of issue 314, John will be writing and penciling The Incredible Hulk. We couldn't let John undertake a peril-fraught task like that alone, so Bob Wyacek, Don the Demon Assistant Daily, and I will be going along to give John our usual assistance. What's happening to the Hulk's present creative team? Glad you asked, but you've probably already guessed they are coming to Alpha Flight. We don't think this has ever happened before. This switching, crossing over of creative teams, it's a comic first, and you can be in on the start of it. We're excited. Perseverance furthers Diddy. And that is exactly what's going to happen. Now, we're also in the middle of Secret Wars. Okay. I'm sorry, Secret Wars 2. And Secret Wars 2 will actually come into the next story as well. In fact, why don't we? Since I happen to have that comic sitting right next to me. Alpha Flight number 28. We got Hulk. And we got the Beyonder. So boom, it's going to be a biggie. Byrne leaving the title. Now, when I first started collecting, Bill Mantlo was already writing the title. So the Byrne stuff was back issues for me. And I liked them. You know, I liked what Mantlo was doing, and I liked what Byrne had done. And that's why I have so many darn Alpha Flights. So, big story. We have Shaman once again, essentially, failing on a promise to his daughter. I'm sure that's not going to haunt him. We have Delphine Courtney. It has been, what's the word I want to use? Temporarily stopped with that stuff stuck to its head. But Alpha's not out of trouble yet, and when you know the Hulk's coming next issue, they're really not out of trouble. So, a week from now, we will cover Alpha Flight number 28. What did you think of Alpha Flight number 27? What did you think of yet another Alphan seemingly being, well, if not destroyed, then taken permanently out of action? This is a dangerous team to be on. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, please hit like. Maybe think about subscribing. Maybe think about sharing with a friend who is into comics or into Alpha Flight or into Canada or into robots or into shamans or into the West Edmonton Mall. Use your best judgment. But until next time, God bless everybody. Please be kind to one another. Have a little bit of fun out there, and I will see you, hopefully soon, again in Dad's Den of Pop Culture.